Hey everybody, I have been dying to make this video. I wanted to share a little bit about maybe some of the cons of my Dominica trip. So, first of all, I'll say that in regards to the trip, it was like 97% pro. It's just a beautiful country, lots of just beautiful nature. And, because I was there for familial reconnection. I had a lot of great experiences with people because I was connecting with people that knew my family members and so on and so forth. So in that way, I had a lot of positive experiences. What was not so positive was the food situation. So let me preface this by saying that this was my first time in the Caribbean as an adult, like outside of the tourist bubble. Okay. So when I was in the Caribbean as a child, you're not thinking about your needs. You trust that your parents and your family are taking care of your needs. And then when I was traveling to the Caribbean as an adult, and I've been to several islands, it was always in the context of a hotel, a resort, or something like that. So this was my first time traveling to the Caribbean, not as a tourist, like not in that kind of tour, that resort bubble. So with that being said, what was most jarring for me was the access to food while we were on this trip. So Dominica as an island, they call it the nature island. It is a very fertile land, okay? So there's a lot of coconuts everywhere, banana everywhere. You see the mangoes growing, they're not ripe yet. You see the soursop, you see all this stuff growing everywhere. But like outside, and then when you go to like the market, the Roseau market or the Portsmouth market, you see that they have like cucumber and tomatoes and stuff like that. So there's like very rich agriculture there. However, when it comes to like other food outside of that, like I don't know, just any other kind of food that's like not grown, there is not as much access. Like meat, for example. So before I jump into like the grocery part of it, I want to talk a little bit about like the restaurant part of it. Because I feel like when people travel on vacation, they're not thinking about buying groceries and access to groceries. They're eating at restaurants. So if you did not eat at a restaurant between the hours of 11:30 and 12:30, you was just asked out. You were asked out, okay? Because unlike the States where you can get whatever you want, whenever you want, made to order, the ingredients are there, the food is there, maybe the restaurant gets a shipment. I don't know how they do it. I don't run a restaurant. Maybe they have a big fridge in the back or whatever. So the way they do it in Dominica is, these restaurants cook for the day in the morning, and then they get the lunch rush, the people to buy the food in the afternoon. And then after that, food finish. That's what we hear. Food finish. And I'm like, food is finished. Like, what are you talking about? Go and, I didn't say this out loud, but I'm like, what do you mean it's finished? Like, go and make some more. But they just cook one batch. And that's it. And when the batch is done, the batch is done. And if it's a restaurant that just caters to lunch, that's it. Restaurant is closed for the day. Or if it's a restaurant that has like a dinner menu, maybe they open up in the evening, they'll open back up around 5 o'clock or 5:30. So if you trying to get some food at a restaurant between 2:30 and 5:30, you out of luck. You out of luck. And that's exactly what happened to us 2 days in a row for very different reasons, right? So the first day that we went to Roseau, which is the capital city, we drove down from Portsmouth, where my uncle lived. It was an hour drive. So we had to drive down and take care of some legal business, right? My father had some land there, and we had to do all this legal business to properly transfer the land over to my brothers and myself. And we had to meet all these people. We had to go to this building, blah, 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 blah. We had to do all this like official stuff, right? By the time we finished with that, it was about like 2:30, and we're ready for lunch. And I'm trying to, go to a restaurant so I can try out some like authentic Dominican food. And I'm talking about food finish. I'm like, oh, what? We visited like 3 restaurants, food finish. So we wound up eating some KFC. The next day, we got a late start because it was like after traveling and catching early flights and then getting up early to go to the lawyer and to this office and that office, we finally had a day where it's like, okay, we don't have to be anywhere right away, so let's sleep in. So we slept in, kind of got a late start. We went to Screws Spa, like the hot springs spa. By the time we finished the hot springs, we went to get some lunch. Them talk about food finish. And again, we had some KFC. You know what I'm saying? We had some KFC. And then we had to drive back to Portsmouth. That's an hour drive. And then my uncle was like, hey, I don't know, if these restaurants are going to be open for the evening, so you better go to the grocery store and buy some food to cook. So we wound up buying some food, from the little market near his house to cook. Now, one thing about the market is the food needs to last until it's purchased. And Dominica as an island is very small. Altogether, there's about 70,000 people on the island. And so when it comes to groceries and stuff like that, you don't know how long that stuff is going to be sitting on the shelf until somebody decides to up and buy it, right? So the meat is hella frozen and stuff like that. There's no such thing as fresh meat, because if meat go bad and nobody buys it for the day, you think they're going to waste that? So all the meat is all frozen, stiff. Unless you want to buy some fish on the side of the road, which we're not going to do that because we don't have the local stomach. I don't want to risk eating the fish that they just caught, and it's probably delicious, but I don't know. We ain't want to risk it. And then it's when it comes to any kind of cow dairy product, there's just not enough open land to really care for a lot of cows for them to be in the food chain, right? So any kind of beef or steak that you might get maybe at a hotel or something like that, or a restaurant, that's imported from somewhere. There's just not, it's all jungle, so there's not enough space for cows. And then same thing with the milk. So the milk was all box milk and canned milk from France. You know what I'm saying? And I drank that milk, bro. I put that milk in a bowl of cereal and my stomach was jacked. Okay, I was in the bathroom jacked up. And on top of that, because a lot of the food that's in the store that's not produce is imported, is very expensive. So we want to make just some spaghetti, spaghetti sauce, the pasta, the little frozen tube of turkey meat. It was hella expensive, prices that we would pay in California, and just kind of wasn't expecting that. So that was kind of a bummer. We didn't really get the chance to have local cuisine for lunch because food finished. And then when it came to dinner time, we were getting food from the grocery store and kind of making do with what we had. Now, one night we were able to go to a hotel nearby and eat some food at the hotel. And that was cool. It was kind of Chinese, Caribbean fusion type food. So I wouldn't say it was Dominican food. And so that was fine. It had chicken fried rice and stuff like that. So it was a nice departure from whatever we were cooking, but it was disappointing that it wasn't an authentic Dominican cuisine experience. And then when we finally got to a restaurant that served Dominican food, bro, we were waiting for over 2 hours. I know on Instagram, my story, I said that we were waiting for 2 hours. Oh my God, we were waiting for so long. So we went to a spot called Bell Hall Beach spot by Bell Hall Beach in Portsmouth. Beautiful beach, by the way. Spot was so cute. Cute little restaurant. When we got there, there was a big party already sitting down getting served. Apparently, according to my uncle, it was a group of government workers, senators and whatever. So their party was getting served. They started eating and whatever. Then my family came in, and also there was another couple. There was a couple there. It took them so long to get our food, and I was really trying to check myself. I didn't want to be an entitled American I didn't want to be like an entitled American, kind of like disrespectful of the rhythms, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know island time. I know CPT, color people time, for those of you that don't know. I know island time. I got two different sets of black time. I got lake time and I got island time, right? I totally understand that. But like 2 hours, it was just like excessive. You know what I'm saying? And like we were like so hungry. And on top of that, like I have kids with me. So I was trying to keep cool because I'm like, I don't ever complain at a restaurant because I don't want some person spitting in my food. But my uncle, who's a local, started getting frustrated way before myself and my husband. And then, so I'm trying to calm my uncle down, like, hey, calm down, right? I don't want them to like jack up our order or just kind of be spiteful and take even longer. But they were like, oh, can you say something, with like a soft woman's touch? So I'm trying to ask them like, oh, do you know when the food might be ready? Can we get like an estimate? And it was just like nobody had nothing to say, bro. It was like one cook, one server, one bartender. And like with the 2 hours she was gone, she didn't even ask us if we wanted more drinks, nothing like that. I was just like, this is wild. So I did have Dominican cuisine. I had coconut rice with some grilled fish, plantain. I don't know how people say it. Me say plantain because we grew up around Jamaican and Jamaican say plantain, or a Dominican say plantano, plantain. I don't understand how people never say it, but I say plantain, and some steamed vegetables. The grilled fish was like kind of salty, whatever, but the rice and the veggies and the plantain was delicious. It was good. My boys had burgers and fries. My uncle had wings and fries. Sammy had some coconut curry chicken or something like that, and it was good. But it was like, and we was like afraid to leave. We were afraid to leave the restaurant because it was like, what if we leave after 2.5 hours to go find something else to eat, and then we go to another restaurant, them talking about food finish, and then what are we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So we was like trapped. We were trapped. So it was just like, it was such a very challenging experience, like I just wish maybe like we had known, we would have planned better. Maybe like we would go early, get some food in a thing to eat later at our own time. That's probably what we'll do next time. Also, like bring food with us, like go to Costco and just bring some. I did do that. I brought like a bunch of snacks, like little cookies and chips and stuff like that. But like, goddamn, I'm like, maybe I have to go to Costco and get some, lentil beans in a little microwave pouch or something. The little rice, basmati rice that come in a little microwave. But I don't know. It was rough. And when you go on vacation, part of the fun of going on vacation is stuffing your damn face. It's eating your head off. And like that was not the experience in Dominica, unfortunately. So we will plan better for the future because we'll definitely be back. I mean, I'm already having withdrawal, like today I kind of fell into like a depression, like, oh my God, I'm missing it so much because it's just so laid back and the nature is just like so beautiful, and it just kind of felt nice to be with family. You know what I'm saying? I live very far away from my family here in the States, and my other members of the family are literally spread out all over the world. Like it just felt nice to kind of be loved up on like that, So yeah, I don't know. That's what I wanted to share about that experience. So if you go to Dominica and you stay in a resort, you'll be fine. They know the situation when it comes to food access. And they definitely create a nice little insulated bubble for your food access. If you outside of the resort, you better watch your ass, okay? Because you'll be hungry like we were. I'm over there with a 13-year-old boy. Every 10 minutes, I'm talking about him hungry. And I'm like, Miss Simon, I'm the food for you because them say I finish. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was rough. So, I don't know. I guess I'll close out by saying be keep your head on the swivel in Dominica unless you're ready to eat KFC every damn day. or be brave and eat the chicken from the barrel on the side of the road, or eat the fish from the side of the road, because me not brave enough for that, you know. I understand my American stomach, bro. I was too scared. My uncle was like, nah. He eat a lot of saltfish. You gotta be careful with that saltfish, like your blood pressure. You know what I'm saying? Like that's, that preserves. I'm rambling. It was a thing, bro. It was a thing. If you don't cook, you don't eat. Pretty much. If you don't cook, you don't eat. Okay, that's it. Bye.